Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday night and it's just after 7 o'clock, so it's time for Keto Confab. I'm your host, Elizabeth Hanson, along with my husband, Scott Hanson, and we are a group to support individuals who wish to live the keto lifestyle, especially according to the teachings of Dr. Annette Bosworth, and everyone is welcome here. So welcome. It is June 29th, I think, right? June 29th. And so welcome to Wednesday. So how was everybody's week and how's everything been going for people? We've been fine here. Nothing new to report. Haven't done
We've
any.
actually had a nice cool spell here in Oklahoma, so I haven't been feeling like I'm going to melt.
This is good. This is good. Nothing exciting. I haven't done any keto reading or watching or listening to books or anything this week, so I have nothing to say.
I watched a Ken Berry video this week, and he was interviewing a board certified heart surgeon, and they were talking about how statins were not good for you, and how eating the ketogenic diet and or carnivore diet, but the low carb dietary lifestyle actually can prevent and or stave off the need for heart surgery. It was really kind of cool, and some of the information, it got a little bit, long-winded, but it was pretty cool. I got it saved on my YouTube video so I can watch it again. Have you watched it, Elizabeth?
I believe I have in the past, but I don't recall. If you could send me the link to it, I'll put it in the details about this video so people can watch it themselves.
I might have to just post it on your page because it's not saved on my laptop. I watched it on my TV.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I can watch YouTube on my TV.
Well, that's cool.
But it also means I get nothing done at times.
Yeah, going down the YouTube rabbit hole is interesting. So in the chats, just Patricia's coming. Maybe I'll hold this till Patricia's here. Okay, so Melody in the chat is asking, she's talking about the BHB pills. She has done the BHB pills, but the first brand that she's tried doesn't seem to be doing anything for her. Has anyone done the pills, and does it take a while to kick in? I have done only Dr. Boz's BHB capsules, and they kicked in the very first time I took them. And, so I know that they work. I don't know about any other brands because, once you find something that works, I don't typically go looking for something else. And I don't use the BHB pills very often, just because my heart is sensitive to anything and everything, and I get heart palpitations if I take the regular dose. If I take a lower dose than what the pills say, I'm fine, and I still get a kick on my ketones. Let me reach for my BHB bottle, which I think is back here. Yeah, this is Dr. Boz's BHB, and it's suggested you take 4 capsules at once. So I never take more than 2 at one time.
Melanie says, I can't see it.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think
capsules.
the ability to see.
Can you see us?
She said okay. Yeah, she said okay.
Okay. So you're doing a life screen. Is that Lifeline people that come around into various communities and you pay a fee? She says she's going to be doing a follow-up life screening, which includes what they call a cardiac somethings US. Is this the CAC US Patricia did? Okay, yes. Well, I actually just did a life screening with them, and the US means ultrasound. So what they do is they do a cardiac ultrasound, which includes both of the aortas up here, the arteries up here, and then they look around your heart by ultrasound looking for aortic aneurysms that may be forming. And they also look at an area in the abdomen for abdominal aortas, to see if aneurysms are forming there. And I don't believe that's the same thing Patricia did. Patricia, do you have any comment on that? Because I don't think that is.
It was a 2-minute thing, and they only had me open up my top button here, and it was just like she said, hold your breath for 30 seconds, and that was it.
Yeah. See, I've had that done twice at the Lifeline thing, or the life screening, whatever it's called. And they do here on the carotid arteries, and then they come over to the heart area and look for aneurysm. So I don't think it's the same thing, but if it is, I'm clear. But you know, even if it isn't what Patricia had, I still think it's valuable. At least it, you know, it makes me feel better that I'm clear, that I don't have plaque building up in my carotids, which could lead to a stroke, and I don't have any aneurysms forming around my heart or in my abdomen that could cause me to die like that. And even though I have hypertension. Yes, it looks for plaque blockage in these areas right here, the carotid. Yeah, my last one was done 3 years ago, and it was clear then, and it's clear now. So I'm very happy. So yes, it looks for plaque blockage, because if you get plaque in the carotids, you're more likely to have a stroke or a massive heart attack. And then the aneurysms, that's where they see on the arteries around the heart and down in the abdomen, whether they've got stress points that are like bubbling out or pushing out because of blood pressure, and that might pop. And if they pop, you just bleed out. Well, because we don't know exactly what the CAC is looking for, I can't tell you what the difference between the two tests are. But I suppose I could use my twinkle fingers and look it up. It was ultrasound, right? They put some sort of probe on you, Patricia, when they did that? No. What she had you unbutton your shirt a little bit, and then what?
They put me on the tray.
Uh-huh.
They slid me in there. They told me hold my breath for 30 seconds, then they slid me back out again.
Oh, okay,
it was really, she said we'll be done in 2 minutes, and we were.
Okay, so all right. So that tells me it wasn't an ultrasound. It was like a scan. You go into the scanner. So it you know, at least whether they're looking, it's called a CAC, cardiac, boy, what does that stand for?
Calcium artery coronary or something like that. It's calcium in your arteries.
Okay. Coronary artery calcification scan. There we go. Coronary artery calcification scan. There are YouTube videos about it, Melody, if you want. So no, it's not an ultrasound. You go into a machine. There's YouTube videos. I'll try and attach one or two of them on there. I mean, on the description thing, so that you can look at them, and other people at some other time can look at them when they see this video. So Patricia, could you, I'm sorry, you've told us several times, and I'm sorry to keep forgetting, but could you tell us again, did you just go to your family doctor and say, hey, dude, I want that test?
Yeah,
Okay.
he looked at my blood results. He says, you know, your LDL is a little bit high.
Mhm.
No, actually, it was before he was going to take my blood. And I said, you know, doctor, last time you told me that you were concerned about my LDL. And I said, you know, I really don't worry about my LDL. I'm trying to make this short, but I said, what I'd like to do, doctor, is take the CAC exam, because I think that will show you that I don't have blockage in my arteries. And I'd like to prove it to myself. And he said, well, you know, you're right. He said, that's another way to know if you have blockage. He said, now I'll approve it. He said, but it's not free.
Mhm.
I said, I know. And he said, yeah, he said, I'll approve it. He said, it would be good to know. It would be good to know. So then he approved it right away, and I took it like within 10 days. And I saw him the next time, and he said, he has over 3,000 patients. So I had to remind him who I was. And he said, oh yeah, yeah. And he said, you know, I was talking to him again about the LDL number. He said, if a 71-year-old woman with a CAC score of 0, he said, I'm not worried about your arteries at all. So that
Yeah.
discussion was over when I reminded him of that.
So did he retest your LDL and everything again?
Oh yeah. And so then he writes in his, they write this log that you can sign on and read. And he said, I reminded the patient that her LDL was high, but we agreed that because her CAC score was 0, that it's not really something to be concerned about, but it's maybe something we should watch in the future.
Okay.
He had to sort of cover himself in his.
Well, yeah, he has to write down his reasoning for why he's let you off not to have any statins or anything.
Yeah, so
So,
my plan is just to keep reminding him, don't forget, don't forget.
yeah, good. Okay, so does that clear all that up, Melody? Okay, because the testing you're doing is still valid and good. I mean, I'm happy to see that in 3 years I haven't clogged anything up. I mean, I was happy to see nothing was clogged, because both my mom and my dad had a stroke before they passed, at least one. And so I mean, it's nice to see that my carotids are clear. And I mean, I have hypertension, so it's good to see and everything. So yeah.
Okay, so I have a question.
Mhm.
As you know, I run a Chinese medicine clinic, and periodically I get someone who I've been working kind of trying to get them into the keto lifestyle, but they'll start talking about their A1C. So can we kind of delve into ways that keto helps the A1C and or things we can do on keto that help with the A1C? Just because I never can seem to remember it at the top of my head when I've got a patient.
Yeah. Okay, so anybody can chime in, but here's the deal with the A1C. The A1C is a picture of the average blood sugar that the person has had over the last 2 to 4 months. Okay, it's a picture. So if you have an A1C that is 6.5 or above, you are classified as diabetic. If it's 6.5 to, well, it's 6.0 to 5, they call it 6.5. Okay, am I being totally, all right. If it's 6.0 to 6.5, or 6.4, you're considered pre-diabetic. Okay. And that's when your doctor says, oh, you better behave and eat better and stop, indulging in all the cookies and cake and stuff. So to lower the blood sugar, the thing is to lower the blood sugar and the insulin resistance to change the A1C. And the way you do that is you stop eating the sugars and the carbs. That's it. And it may take a month, it may take 2 months to get your A1C down. What happened with me was my A1C was at 6.2. So I was warned, probably the next time you come in, it's going to be higher and we're just going to have to put you on metformin or something. And I'm like, oh, heck no. And then I started keto. And by the time I went back 9 months later, I went from 6.2 to 4.7. And they were shocked. They were shocked because I did that testing in August. I started keto in November. And by the following June, I had dropped from 6.2 to 4.7. Now, some people, if they're already a diabetic, and let's say they have an A1C of 11, which many diabetics will have an A1C of 11, which by the way, is an average blood sugar of well over 200 every day. It will take a while because you have a store of sugars in the liver and in other body tissues that the body has to work through to finally get your blood sugar down. Does that help, Renee?
Yeah.
Anybody else have something to
I
add?
think that the frustrating part is when I hear of patients that they've been working on it and they don't really seem to, or at least their doctor says they're not seeing any progress. And like you said, well, we need to start looking at this medication thing. And they're like, on bed,
Yeah, my doctor, that same report that I get online from the doctor, it said that my A1C was 5.5 and that the borderline is 5.7, not 6.0. And so he said, great job. But I will say that a year ago, my number was 5.0.
Mm-hmm.
And then I listened to some people on the, the Zoom groups, and they said that you could you could have built up glycogen storage in your liver from many years. Matter of fact, I think I heard Dr. Boz say it recently. It could take a couple of years to clean that all out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's encouraging then, because that I think sometimes, and I'm not ragging on Western medicine doctors, but I think sometimes they, it's like now, and it's like, guys, it took me years to get this good looking. It's going to take me a couple of years to get looking.
Yeah.
And they, so they want to like rush the process. And it's one of the things I always tell my Chinese medicine patients is faster is not always better for the body. I think sometimes when we try to force the body faster than it wants to go, I think we're setting our bodies up for even other residual issues that might not ever have occurred, simply because we're trying to force our body to do something it's just not ready to do yet.
I would agree with Renee. I once went and had a lymphatic massage because my lymph is kind of slow and it's plugged up and everything. And I thought, I'm doing this wonderful thing for my body. But I had repercussions afterwards to where my knees just were so congested with lymph fluid that I couldn't even bend them to get in the car to go drive somewhere. And it took 2 or 3 days for my body to recover from a wonderful lymphatic massage. And she did nothing wrong. She was well trained. It wasn't that. It was just my body was like, really, you want to do this? I'm not ready for this. Well, let's see just what happens. Hey, honey, you know. And
Well, since we've got all this extra room, let's just put some of this back in there.
yeah, you know, so you
I want
know,
to say one more thing,
sure.
and I think I heard, Renee, you took the course, the consistently keto course through through Elizabeth. You took it. So
Yeah,
the thing that I want to emphasize is what I've heard a lot more often recently is you gotta up the fats. You've gotta up the fats, and the protein. Okay, that we've talked about this before. You take your body weight in kilogram, your ideal body weight. So let's say I should be 150, okay, pounds. And then you turn that into kilograms, and that's more like 69 kilograms, okay? You divide your pounds by 2.2 to get the kilograms. And then, so your 69 is your target protein grams per day, okay? And so a lot of people like me, I'm eating ribeyes, you know, and then I have sausage for breakfast and maybe an egg. And my protein was going way up over 100, okay? And I'm hearing more and more that if you have too much protein, Wilma could probably confirm this, you have too much protein in your diet, it's going to keep that glycogen in your liver from breaking down. So everyone is saying, get the proteins down to that number. For me, it would be 69 a day. And then up your fat. So your fat should be more like 80% of your diet. And we're talking about, like Scott does, have a chunk of butter in your coffee, or, you know, suck on a piece of butter. Or I use lard. I make bacon and I keep the lard, and I put the lard in everything.
Patricia, what was that formula again to go from pounds to grams?
Okay, so you take your ideal body weight, which is 150 for me, and you divide that by 2.2 to turn that into kilograms. And for that turns out to be like 69 for me. So that's my maximum number of protein grams a day.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, there have been other groups out there. I don't know if you've watched any of this, Renee, and they call it the protein sparing modified fast. And there's all kinds of protein groups out there that say, oh, you need your protein for your exercise and stuff like that. And don't worry about the ketones and stuff. But Dr. Boz keeps saying, listen, folks, I've worked this out for many thousands of people. She said, I've got this down. Listen to me. In order to get that sugar buildup in your liver out, you've got to reduce you got to keep the protein down to that number, that whatever matches your height and body weight and all that.
Yeah, I remember Dr. Boz saying that, and it's true. We need to keep the fat, high, and we shouldn't go crazy with the protein. And I was eating too much protein, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, and I've pared it back. Because, well, I don't need that much protein. And so yeah, that's true. While we've been talking, I found a YouTube video that talks about how long does it take for your A1C to go down by Dr. Sten Ekberg. So I'll put that, link that here, because that may give you, Renee, some ideas for your clients about how long. But I mean, it is true. We have to clean that glycogen out of the liver and out of other body tissues, such as our stored fat holds glycogen as well. So a person like me who was well over 300 pounds, I had a lot of stored sugar, not only in my liver, but also in my other body tissues that I had to work out. And if I know, Renee, you're not on the neurons group, but I am, and I go and I look at what people are saying, and a lot of people's blood sugars are still high because they are, they're doing autophagy on some of their fat. And when you hit a sugar pocket, let's say in your fat, you'll have a large increase in that. And I see that every now and then with myself, to where I'll have a day where my blood sugar's at 100 or a little over in the morning. And I'm like, wonder what that is. Okay, so Melody has written some things. So I can't get the balance some days. I have more protein than needed some days, and I have way less according to chronometer other days, I'm assuming. Fat is usually low when protein is high and vice versa, but I need the protein. Yeah. It's very hard, Melody, and we know, since you are a vegetarian, that it is very hard for you. Let me ask a question. Do you drink milk at all or use milk in your diet? I'm just going to wait for you to. No, just water. Well, here's the deal. If you could, well, I'm not asking you to buy protein drinks. What I'm suggesting is, why don't you get some whipping cream and use that, in some way, because that's very fatty and it has protein, but not too much protein. It's not like it really, you used whipped cream a lot. Okay, now this is whipped cream, not with added sugar, because most of the whipped creams that you purchase have sugar in them. You put it in your yogurt. Correct. No carbs, no sugar. Okay. And how much fat does your whipped cream have? Because I don't have any heavy whipping cream on me. Scott, there's some up in my refrigerator. There's a carton of it there. You could look on it.
Okay,
See
yeah.
how much fat. And I don't have any of the pre-whipped whipping cream. If you can find a package, then we can compare it, because it is a problem for Melody to get enough fat. I mean, let's face it, vegetables don't have much fat, so she has to depend on olives and olive oil and avocados and milk products and cheeses to get her fats, and also to get her proteins too. So do you have that, honey?
Yeah. By the way, when you're talking about pre-whipped whipping cream, do you mean the tubs of Cool Whip?
Well, there are tubs of pre-whipped whipping cream that don't have any sugar. I don't know what brand they are. I don't believe they're Cool Whip, because I think all the Cool Whip has some sugar.
Yeah, but
Renee's
you're talking
shaking
about
her
stuff
head.
like that. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
know and there's some fat-free Cool Whip, and then there's also, I think, 1 or 2 other levels of fat, in Cool
Yeah.
Whip. So the Cool Whip anyway is. So now, okay, a serving size is, one serving of the heavy whipping cream.
Mhm.
This isn't actually, I don't think this is the 40% heavy whipping cream. And I've been told that heavy whipping cream and 40% heavy whipping cream are different.
Oh, okay.
And I think in terms of carbohydrate content, I think the heavy whipping cream has more carbohydrate in it than the 40% heavy whipping cream.
Okay. So what does
But
it say
anyway,
about fat and protein on that one?
okay, so serving size is 15 milliliters, and per serving, there's no carbohydrate, and there's the total fat is 5 grams.
So it's
So
the
5
same as
grams in
what
one serving.
Melody has.
And it says there's no protein. Yeah.
Really? How can it not have any protein? It's a milk product.
Maybe they take out the whey.
I think
I
so.
don't know. I mean, they probably process this stuff quite a bit. I don't know.
I'm looking for 40% heavy whipping cream, but all I'm getting online is heavy cream powder.
Yeah, it's interesting that this is heavy whipping cream and not the 40% heavy whipping cream, but it doesn't have any carbohydrate. Because there was a heavy whipping cream that I looked at that had more carbohydrate. I think 40% heavy whipping cream has maybe 1 gram per serving or 2 grams per serving, something like that. And then but anyway, yeah, this has no carbohydrate.
5 grams of fat.
On some of the whipping cream, you have to watch. There's a additive they put in. It's like carnation or CAR something.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a
carrageenan?
thickening agent they put in, and so it's not really as thick as it should be. And they
Yeah,
say
this has
avoid that.
yeah, this has carrageenan. Yeah,
Oh,
it's also got cellulose gum for some reason,
no.
and polysorbate 80 and carrageenan.
I was just going to say, to get my fat up in my coffee, I put butter and I put MCT oil in it to get my fat up.
Yeah, I think Melody was using MCT oil. I found Chobani Zero. Okay. Okay. She says, I found Chobani Zero has 5 carbs with no fat, but 11 protein. So I add cream to the yogurt to get the balance. Well, I don't know. I drink MCT oil all day in my water. Okay. So Melody, do you know the total fat you get each day and like what percentage it is of your total calories? By the way, I just looked at all the heavy whipping cream powder. Don't bother with it because it has like 1.5 grams of fat per serving, but it also has carbs and it has no protein and there are a bunch of additives. So that's a waste of time. But I did learn that they've now put out a Snicker flavored coffee cream. Really? Do people need Snicker flavoring in their coffee? Come on.
Yes, they do.
Okay. I don't think so. Come on. Now,
Yes, they do. Just accept it and move on.
well, okay, look, I'm going to see how much sugar's in this here Snicker flavored coffee creamer because I'm curious that way. Okay, it has 1.5 grams of fat, has no cholesterol, ooh, only 3 grams of carb and 0. Yeah, but oh, look at all these additives. Oh, it has propylene glycol. Who wants to drink in some propylene glycol? Ugh, blah. Oh man, a lot of stuff, a lot of chemically stuff. No. If I want me some Snicker, I'm just gonna eat one. I'm not gonna put it in coffee. Well, I don't drink coffee, so, but okay. Okay, so it's really inconsistent. If I get 60% protein, then I have 40% fat. Okay. Does anyone know what the ratio is supposed to be? I can't remember it right now. Patricia, Wilma, do you remember the ratio, what we're supposed to be?
Dr. Boz wants us at about 20% of our carbs or our calories to be protein, less than
Okay.
5% carbs, and 75 to 80% fat of our
Okay.
calories each day.
Okay.
The more
All
fat
right.
you eat, the less hungry you are.
Yeah, okay. You're going by the chronometer suggested grams. Okay. There are a few days. Well, you know, Melody, look at what you're eating on those few days that you're about equal, 50-50, or I don't know, 40-40, and then other 20% somewhere else, and see if you can do more about that, because I don't know what else to tell you. Anybody else got any ideas? Done any more 72s, Wilma?
No, I'm going to be gone traveling so much this month that I'm just going to be I'm going back to probably 3 meals a day and just going to go one day at a time and not worry about fasting. Just try to stay keto when I'm traveling.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. I'm usually these days going just OMED, just one meal a day. Occasionally I'll be really hungry at noon and I'll have a boiled egg, or this week I made some tomato cucumber salad with oil and some dill and some basil and some rosemary, and I'd have a little bit of that. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to stay OMAD.
You might
And
have to send me that recipe. That sounds so yummy.
well, I find it quite yummy myself. So, um,
But I didn't hear you say vinegar, no vinegar?
no, I didn't add any vinegar in, but you know what, Patricia, that's a really good idea.
Well,
Little.
normally you put balsamic vinegar on top of the tomatoes and all that other stuff.
When I first got this recipe, it was just oil, the spices, and the cucumber and the tomato. And they added onion, but I can't eat onion. So wish I could eat onion. Yeah, and I wish I could eat onion. And they said alternately you could put some sour cream in as well. And I've not done that because sometimes sour cream makes my nose run and I don't like that. So, but yeah, it is yummy.
I wanted to report that I reported this at one of the other groups, but in the meantime, I've got even more information. I reported that I took the jump rope out to the yard and I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it. And then I skipped. I could not jump. I could not
jump. Yeah.
Somehow just could not. You see, the thing is, I'm 50 pounds overweight and I've broken my ankle many years ago, but I have a history of falling. So I was telling this other group, I said, you know, I'm in the water 3 times a week and I'm doing cross-country skiing simulation. I'm doing jumping jacks. I'm stamping my feet around. I'm lifting my knees up really high, way up into my chest and everything. I said, do I really have to do this? And I said, another thing, I have 2 counters in my kitchen that are not too far away from each other. So I can basically do a push-up on my counter and I can do squats with my counter. I said, do I really have to jump? And one of the ladies says, Well, Dr. Boz says there's something that goes on with your brain. And, there's things that happen in your brain when you jump that you can't get anywhere else. Well, you know what? I went in the water today and I said, okay, brain, I'm going to jump now. Get the message. So I simulated jumping in the water. And
Okay.
I said, I think my brain got the message. I don't think you have to actually pound the ground when you do a jump rope. I think you can simulate that.
If you have bad knees, bad ankles, any joint issues, and you want to jump, what you're talking about doing in the water, Patricia, jumping in water is actually really beneficial because it cushions the blow when you land, but you still get all the same benefits of the actual jump and drop without the impact, without the devastating impact to your joints, because the water cushions that as you come down.
I haven't taken her class yet. I'm going to take it starting, I think it's next week we're going to start. But I just don't believe that like one lady, after I told them that I chickened out on the jumping, she says, you know what? She said a year or so ago, I did some jumping jacks. And at 3:00 in the morning, I woke up and found out that I had broken my foot by doing 10 jumping jacks.
Oh my goodness.
She said, I have osteoporosis or some kind of bone problem.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
And so she said, I don't think you should do something that you don't think that your body can withstand. So I think I'm right. I think I'm right. Maybe.
Patricia, when you do jumping jacks, do you jump with the jumping jacks?
You're
Oh,
on,
you're
You're on mute.
you're
on
muted
mute,
again.
Patricia.
In the water. I'm in the water.
Oh, you're doing
okay?
jumping jacks in the water.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh.
today, to prove to myself, I went over to my counters and I lifted both feet up in the air 20 times. So I simulated a jump without actually, putting all this weight down on my ankles. And I think that my brain got the message.
Well, here's the deal. Many of you know we have a daughter, our youngest daughter, who actually had a brain injury when she was like 5. And we are working with someone right now to help repair her brain. And she had an appointment last week with him. And he said, here's what I need her to do. I need her to do about 20, 30 minutes of math. I don't care whether it's addition, subtraction, division, whatever. I need her to do about 30 minutes of math each day. And then I need her to read, get an actual book and read it for like 30 minutes a day. And he says, and the other thing I want her to do is I want her to get back into dance because she's been in dance all these years. And he says the coordination of movements from the arms and the legs together, no matter what kind of dance it is, he says, I don't care if it's belly dancing, I don't care if it's, hip hop or whatever. He says that helps the brain coordinate if you get the arms and the legs moving together. So I personally, yes, I've taken Dr. Boz's brains class. I heard her say that jumping rope was the easiest thing to do to try and work on your brain. And I believe her because it is easy. Everybody can get a jump rope. It's not like it's millions of dollars. You don't have to have a special room in your house. You don't have to go out to a gym and have a membership. You can jump rope. Well, guess who can't jump rope? That's me. I bought a jump rope. I cannot jump rope. But, I broke my knee years ago in track, and I am 60 to 70 pounds heavier than I should be, and I am 60. And right now, I fell on the ice and I have back pain, and jumping would not be good for my back pain. And but doing a little swing movement, with some music and stuff, I can do without causing problems with my knee or my back. So this is nothing against Dr. Boz, and I know you're not saying that, Patricia, but I don't think jump rope is the end all to everything to getting your brain to working well. So if you spend time each day doing some sort of math, some sort of reading, and some sort of movement that involves both the upper and the lower body, I think we're doing the best thing for our brains. And Wilma, you've taken the brains course. What do you think about that?
It's the coordination of getting your body, both sides of your brain working. But somebody did bring up the jumping jacks, and that would be working. And the dance would probably be a good one on that. I was going to say our local hospital has a really good rehab pool. And so if you go 25 laps around it, it's a mile. Well, you know, I'm there trucking along on walking, and here's these 70 and 80-year-olds passing me up running. Well, this week I started jogging around the pool, and it's amazing how much of a workout that gives you just in the water. And it saves your knees, it saves your feet and everything. So that's probably what I'll be doing. I'll probably be doing little jogs around instead of walking. But and as I'm doing it, I'm doing stuff with my arms, so that's probably still doing stuff. I'm just not jumping rope, but I'm coordinating the feet and the hands doing stuff.
Yeah, now, Wilma, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Dr. Boz in the brains class talk about long division? That doing long division helps the brain heal as well?
Yeah, I
Well,
remember that. Yeah.
she has one SPECT scan that has like a dark spot. She says, just saying that could be my long division, and I don't do it. But if I was at a place that I could get out and I had to do long division, I'd learn how to do it real quick.
Yeah. After I heard that in the brains class, I think I actually bought myself a workbook for long division. It's got to be around here somewhere. I haven't done it. I don't really like long division. I don't mind big old multiplication tables, but things, but I don't really like long division. But I should probably do it.
I don't want to contest your doctor, but I have read a book. I can't remember what her name is, but there is a system called the Pomodoro system, where she says you should never do anything for more than 20 minutes. Take a break, have an apple, do something, and then come back, maybe have a cup of coffee. I don't know what your daughter likes, but do another 20 minutes. But don't do anything for 30 minutes like that.
Oh, he said 20 to 30, and I'll tell you, she probably will go to the 20 because she's not that thrilled about doing anything, you know. So
and when I practice my piano, I have a rule that I never do more than 20 minutes.
Okay.
But I do try to do two times a day.
Hey, are you ready to give us a concert yet?
I told the other group, if you want to listen to oh where has my little dog gone?
Hey, I'd listen to it.
Or Good King Wenchless.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, I feel like I'm making progress. I actually can use both hands. And again, you know, I really do think that it's getting both sides of my brain working. So I'm not
so too.
Really ready. I don't think I'll ever be ready to perform, but I think I might. My 7-year-old granddaughter's coming. And I think I might be able to show her an easy way for her to play a few things. And that's going to be a great reward if I'm able to do that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Say, Patricia, I thought about you. Renee's putting up the bodygroove.com place, and she's talked about that before.
I have looked into that. It's really very good. And I like the The Ken Cohen guy. I like the Qigong. I looked at that too.
Like the Qigong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about you this week, Patricia, because I was doing something around the house, cleaning or sorting or something, and I had been listening to some YouTube video that I had downloaded, and it finished, but I was deep in this stuff, so I let whatever came up come up. And what came up was a 1 hour documentary about people who are super old. They're 80 plus, and they still have all their mental faculties. They are not, they don't have Alzheimer's or dementia. And they said one of the things about these people, and these people are in a study. They've been in a study for years that follows them. They do multiple cognitive tests a year, I think 2 or 3 times a year, to see if they're slipping or anything. And when they die, they've agreed to donate their brains to the study that they're in. And what they are finding is the brains that do the best actually have higher blood pressures than what most doctors want us to have. Usually
That's what
somewhere,
the heart surgeon was talking about.
the heart surgeon, which one?
The one that Dr. Ken Berry was interviewing. He's
Oh,
sometimes the higher blood pressure is actually better for you than the ones that they're saying. He says, and he was talking about how they keep lowering, and he goes right now, he goes, it is way too low for most people.
mhm.
I
So
thought was interesting.
I've heard that before. This same doctor that works with our daughter's brain, he's helped me with my blood pressure issues. And he says about 150 to 155 is probably the ideal range for me. He says, now you don't want the lower number to go too high. He says you want that lower number around 70 or 80. Above 80, he says that's probably not beneficial because it doesn't give the arteries enough of a rest and stuff. And so, you know, but my doctors here just want my blood pressure to go lower and lower and lower. And I'm like, you know, but anyway, so I don't sweat the 150 blood pressure anymore. It's when it gets to 170 that I'm like, this isn't good. But yeah, so I'll try and find that, Patricia, because I thought you'd be interested in watching it, because the people were very interesting, and the testing that they do is very interesting, and the findings about having plaque or not having plaque in the brain on the myelin sheath and everything's very interesting. So I'll try and find that. Anyway, oh, look at that. It's already 8 o'clock. My goodness.
I
that
do
went fast.
want, before she goes, I want to ask Wilma, I heard you were going to Canada. Where are you going in Canada?
Up to Banff and Jasper Park.
Oh, nice, nice.
All right, then you're vaccinated, right, Wilma? Because I don't think they're letting unvaccinated people go to Canada yet.
Yeah, we had to be because of all of our travels. They require it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved Alberta, Canada. The whole province is just beautiful.
Mm.
Hope you have a great time.
We hope the flights work.
Oh, they've been canceling so many flights all over the country. Wow, it's been crazy. I used to go up into Manitoba a lot because we live just south of Manitoba, and I really miss being able to go up into Canada, but I can't risk vaccination. I've had too many allergic reactions, and I'd be the person who would have a really bad one. So, oh well, Canada's out. So anyway,
It seems like they would have exceptions to that rule for someone like you who cannot be vaccinated, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just off on left field, but it just seems like there should be somewhere in the rules or the laws that there is for those who can show medical proof that they have a medical
But
exemption.
yeah, but well, the thing is, though, I don't know if the medical community at large has actually even accepted the fact that maybe some people are sensitive to vaccinations. And then there's the whole deep, strong political overlay with with the COVID vaccination. It is very politically motivated and influenced, and you cannot say anything at all against the vaccine or anything. And
Well,
so
I have,
unfortunately, medicine is being very, very politically driven, especially around COVID.
yeah. I have heard a number of neurologists say that persons with neurological conditions such as a seizure disorder, a brain injury, or autism, like our daughters, should not be vaccinated. So our daughters aren't vaccinated either. So they're not going to Canada anytime soon. And yeah, so I don't know. Someday they may get things figured out and calm down, and I'll be able to go back to Canada. But hey, it was nice while it lasted. Anyway, how soon do you leave, Wilmina? Next week?
In a couple of weeks.
Oh, in a couple of weeks. Okay. Well, are you driving or flying?
Fine.
Flying. Oh, that's right. You said hope the flights go. Yeah. Hello. um, yeah. I think I need to do some long division now. Anyway, okay. If anybody does, if no one has anything else to say, I think we'll call it quits for this week, and we'll see y'all next week. I'll turn off the recorder here. Pause record.